The Denver Nuggets win the NBA championship, but the East Coast bias is still such bullshit that's out there. It's like Nuggets win, and I hear, don't say his name, by the way, don't say his
No.
name, but I'm telling you, I'll freak. But he's right there and all the rest talking about, oh, the Nuggets are exactly what we thought they were going to be. Oh, the Nuggets are, bullshit. They didn't give the Nuggets one iota of coverage when this whole thing started. I know everybody's jumping on the Nuggets bandwagon. And to
Yeah,
me,
no,
it's just
it's
disgusting.
you're 100% correct. It's exactly what I thought. It's absolutely hysterical. The national shows that are on before our show at ESPN Southwest Florida. I mean, it's just that they've done a total 180 because they have so much egg yolk on their face and they've eaten so much crow they're ready to puke. That's it's they're all backtracking, beep, 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 beep. So I don't even pay attention to it. I know the real deal. I know what these teams about. I just heard Chris Russo on First Take talk about what the Miami Heat are doing is an aberration. And once again, thank God JJ Redick is there to tell everybody. And him, he's like, how could it be an aberration? They've been to the finals 2 out of 4 years. They nearly got there last year, if not for Jimmy Butler missed 3. I mean, the team has been as consistent as it is. It's stuff's laughable. Now they're all jumping on the Denver bandwagon because they got nowhere else to go. And Denver winning that game last night, shooting 5 of 28 from 3 and missing 10 free throws, and still winning the game down the stretch. I know Butler went off and was really good down the stretch, but it's amazing. They're the better team. They deserved it, and Jokic was outstanding.
Well, there's the thing, and I think there's 3 pieces to the NBA Finals that we can hit. And let's touch on Jimmy Butler first, because you just brought him up. And I love going through social media in the mornings whenever there's a championship game or a big game or a big moment. And I love reading the fans, the nut jobs, the wackaloon fans that are out there.
Yeah.
And the number of people who say, the Miami Heat suck, Jimmy Butler's an invisible man, Jimmy Butler didn't show up, Jimmy Butler blew it. Shut up! I mean, that's the moments that I want to reach out and strangle somebody. Can't you just enjoy the fact that the Miami Heat weren't supposed to be there? I mean, they came in at the last minute. They had a great later stage of the season. They went through the playoffs. They're there. Damn it, enjoy your team, for Christ's sake, and point out that it wasn't the fact that the Miami Heat screwed up. The Denver Nuggets are the best team in the NBA. Stop.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that people expected too much of Jimmy Butler to have 50 points, 45 rebounds, and 30 assists on the night. But that's just not the way it works. Look, it's exactly what you said. I mean, they played their balls off. You can't ask a team to play with more heart than the Miami Heat did. And they beat 2 excellent basketball teams, 1 okay team in the New York Knicks. And, you want to talk about Denver, they had to play 2. I heard somebody say today, oh, well, their road to the finals was soft. The road, it's never soft. It's never easy. I know Minnesota and the Lakers were the playing game, but you beat Phoenix in Game 7 by 30. At their place, and you got a coach part. I mean, look, it's so crazy. I think a lot of fans are out of control nowadays with expectations, and it's like the strictly pass or fail type of things. They just don't see the big picture. It's frustrating at times. That's why I ignore a lot of the comments.
Yeah, but what drew that, though? I mean, when did that happen? I mean, well, I'm asking a rhetorical question here because we all know this happened when social media blew up and ESPN came up and everybody decided that they were all experts. But why can't we just enjoy the fact that a team does well, wins, makes us feel good for a little while? They screw up, they get beaten by somebody else. Who cares? It's that moment, Pete. It's like everybody's got to be.
I agree.
It's this American thing. Everybody's a winner. We've all got to be winners. There's nothing but winners. You know what it goes back to? It goes back to the commercials 100 years ago where the guy had the battery on his shoulder and said, "Go ahead, knock this off." That macho bullshit that still lives to this day. And there's another one. Second place is first loser. I mean, it's that nonsense. George Carlin said it best in his bits where he talked about the fact that can't we just enjoy what we have?
Yeah.
And in sports, we can't do it. And that's why the people who are going after Jimmy Butler, granted, Jimmy Butler didn't have a great game here and there, but Jimmy Butler's the reason why they're in the playoffs in the first place, or one of the reasons, yes?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. I say this on our show all the time. Enjoy the journey. My partner on the radio, Craig Sheeman, he's a Detroit sports fan, okay? Not even a big hockey fan at all. But he's gone through the Lions and the Tigers, and except for what happened in 1984, he's had his disappointments. But and as far as his Lions go, he's going to enjoy the journey this year. He thinks they're going to be in the Super Bowl, but that's he's a little delusional. But I understand. I mean, I have been through the good, the bad, and the ugly. I have witnessed the most heart-wrenching defeats any sportsman could possibly go through as a New England sports fan, and yet I've also experienced some of the greatest moments in my life the same way. So I have been through the good, I've been through the bad, I've been through the ugly. I mean, I was there at Foxborough Stadium with the Lisa Olson incident before Kraft bought the team. I was covering the team back then before I got to Boston. I had to sit there with barely 10,000 fans in the stands, and they were used to beg media people to come and cover the Patriots. And it was an absolute mess. But the heartbreak for the Red Sox and the Bruins in my lifetime after 72, between 75, too many men on the ice, losing to Philadelphia a couple of years before that. I mean, but it all, for me, I wouldn't trade any of it because it made me a stronger person. I have always enjoyed the journey, win, lose, or draw for the teams I want to win. Look, you enjoy the journey. Frustrating that the Bruins, for me, and Celtics didn't get there this year. But look, I still enjoyed the journey. Kind of a short journey in the postseason.
Yeah, but I'm still pissed at Montgomery, man. I'm still.
And you want to, but next year, it'll be another journey. And I'm looking forward to college football and the NFL. I'm looking forward to the U.S. Open golf this weekend. That's going to be tremendous out in Los Angeles, and the pairings just came out. I can't wait for some of these matches.
Well, let's talk about Jokic a little bit because, and this is probably going to be one of those things that I'm going to take a hammer for, but I really don't care because I'm a fan guy. I believe that the fans deserve everything for the amount of money, the amount of emotion, the amount of marketing, the amount of bullshit that they have to put up with from a lot of players. I'm on the fan side. And while Nikola Jokic is arguably the best player in the NBA right now, CBS Sports called him, and I wrote this down, the NBA's greatest draft pick of all time is what CBS Sports called him. And I'm thinking, that's clickbait bullshit right there. That's really all that is. But let's take what he did here. His post-game comments, both immediately after the win and then the way he handled it in the post-game presser, did not sit well with me at all. Here, check this out.
And now you are an NBA champion, Nikola. How does that feel?
It's good. It's good. The job is done. We can go home now.
You said after the Lakers win, you said you were surprised that you didn't feel more. So I'm curious what you are feeling right now and if you're looking forward to a parade coming up in Denver.
When is parade? When is parade?
Thursday.
No. I need to go home. Okay. I mean, I mean, we succeed in our jobs, and we won. We won the whole thing. It's a amazing feeling. But like I said before, it's not everything on the world. I think still, if okay, I won it. Okay, we won it. But I think it's not the most important thing in the world. Still, there is a bunch of things that I like to do. I mean, probably that's a normal thing. Nobody likes his job, or maybe they do. They're lying. But it's a good feeling when you know that you did something that nobody believes, and it was just us. It's just the organization of Denver Nuggets believe in us. Every player believe in each other, and I think that's the most important thing.
When he says people who like their job, they're lying. I swear to God, for a moment I thought, does he work in television or radio? Has he worked for some of the clowns we've worked with over the years? But here's my problem with this. And I get he might just be really full of shit and just having fun. Who knows? But to me, he never really gave it a great push for the fans. We did this for the fans. This is for the fans. And for the whole parade thing, that's for the fans too. Show up, shut your mouth, throw the confetti off your shoulders and stop worrying about going home to Serbia, because you owe these fans. They helped to make you a superstar and helped to make you what you are and make your contracts, and you did a big part of it. But this is for the fans. So I'm pissed that he has to really ask, oh no, I got to go home. No, you don't have to go home. You stay in Denver for a couple of days, you go to the parade, you do all the nonsense that goes on with it, and have some fun with it, because it's for the fans, Pete. Stop worrying about going home and spending more time with your horses in the barn.
I think you're being way too hard on the guy. Number one, he's exhausted.
Maybe.
He's absolutely exhausted. I think he's going to stay for the parade. I didn't hear he was going home for the parade. His family.
Well, no, but you hear what he said? He goes, oh no, I got to go home. That's what I'm saying. He might be kidding. He might be kidding.
You act like you're going to jump on the first plane out to Serbia. No, he's going to be around for the parade. You got to cut him a little bit of slack after that game. Plus, it's his second language. The guy is absolutely freaking exhausted beyond belief. He's had to, and they haven't gone through this. This organization has not gone through this before. And look, I think you got to cut him some slack for last night. He's going to be at the parade. I think he'll give a much better press conference in days ahead. And
but would you not agree with me that
his family, if you don't know his backstory, I mean, his family is extremely important to him. You saw the cuts last night for all the family and friends in Serbia watching the game at 3 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning, whatever it was. I mean, I think the guy is emotionally and physically absolutely exhausted, as probably everybody else is on both teams. And I'm going to cut him a lot of slack. I didn't get offended by anything he said last night at all. Nothing.
I just think he could have gone that extra level in it. But will you not agree with me? Okay, let me extrapolate to this point that at least when it comes to not just Jokic, but all these players, spend more time kissing the ass of the fans and doing stuff for the fans instead of worrying about your social media, carrying guns, doing all this bullshit. Do more for the fans because they earned it. They deserve it.
He said it. He said it before. Malone said it before. They've all said stuff about the fans before. It can only do so much kiss ass.
But I'm not talking about just these players, Pete. I'm talking about athletes in general, where I think too many of them don't give a shit about the fans.
Well, you always hear about when they need to. We need the fans to show up tonight. We need the fans to show up tonight. But look, I mean, it's some you get spoiled. I mean, of course, load management in the NBA is ridiculous, and they're trying to put a stop to it or at least slow it down. I mean, that's the biggest disgrace to me in the NBA is freaking load management. I mean, the fact that you're paying all this money and your guy may only play 65 games a year out of the 82. That's a bigger problem I have. These coaches with load management. I mean, back in the 80s and even in the 90s, certainly in the 70s, I mean, guys played all 82 games, whether they won 10 games or 60 games. I mean, you played every game. It didn't matter if you're in the playoffs or out of the playoffs. Guys, you just played every game. The only time you sat out a game is if you were hurt. I mean,
I agree. I agree. And that's load management. We saw that in the National Hockey League, too, as well with the Boston Bruins. That was part of the issue there. But then the last thing on this is, of course, now all the people who got it wrong about the Nuggets in the first place are all screaming that this is the beginning of a dynasty. Fuck that word. I'm tired of the word dynasty. There's no such thing as dynasties anymore, Pete, because everybody moves, everybody signs a contract, everybody's a free agent, everybody can wind up in another franchise. Every franchise goes bankrupt, does stupid shit over and over again. This whole dynasty talk to me is like GOAT talk. Stop. There is no Denver dynasty. Look, I wouldn't be surprised if the Nuggets come back next year and they don't even make the playoffs. I mean, I get it. But wouldn't you say that dynasties, it's just, there's no dynasty here. 1 year?
No, people do this all the time in sports. As soon as the team wins, is this the beginning of a dynasty? And I agree with you there. But we don't know if it's going to be a dynasty. To me, a dynasty, if you win 3 out of 4, 2 out of 3, you can start talking about that. I think the Kansas City Chiefs are on the precipice of becoming something like that. Certainly, the Patriots for 20 years were kind of a dynasty in their own way. They rebuilt themselves 3 separate times in 3 different Super Bowl type of eras and a couple of different decades. But you're not going to see that again in many sports. It's very hard in the NHL to become a dynasty. I mean, the Red Wings kind of did it back in the 90s a little bit. The Penguins a little bit. The Blackhawks a little bit. But it's the days of the Islanders winning 4 in a row back in the 80s. That's
over.
Those days are far and few. Those aren't going to happen anymore.
That's over.
And as far as an NBA team, it plays to, I guess, the parity in all of sports. I mean, it's very, very difficult. We know in the NFL how difficult it is just to make the playoffs. you get to the Super Bowl. Many times you don't get even back to the playoffs in the NFL. Many times that's happened over the years. And in the NBA, as far as the dynasty, there's too many really good teams. I mean, it's very, very difficult to repeat.
Well, that's just it. I don't think that there's any sport. If we look at the four major sports in America, I don't think it's possible to have a dynasty anymore. I mean, but then again, as you pointed out, maybe 2 years out of 3, 3 out of 5, maybe what exactly is a dynasty? I don't see that happening with the way franchises move these days.
No, I mean, Golden State's not a dynasty. I mean, there's some really good teams. A lot of them came close to come close to becoming a quote unquote dynasty, maybe coming close to winning 3 titles in a row, but it's very difficult. When I hear that word, I laugh, especially after it's only been 1 year, but that's the laziness of the media. They're going to throw that word out there no matter who wins.